Well, following on from the announcement this morning from the Chief Minister that there's going to be this multilateral FATCA agreement, basically, with at least G5, if not the full G8, and things are moving quite fast, really, in the offshore business. With me is George Sharpe here, and to talk about this, were you expecting this sort of thing to happen?
Yes, Paul, I think so. I don't think it had to be this week, last week, next week, but it's a step along a road that we all know that we're going down, and I think with other announcements that have been made in the recent past, with the upcoming G8 summit, it made sense for the Isle of Man government to state its position clearly and accurately, and it's done that.
I believe the Caymans got in there before us even.
They made an announcement yesterday, yes, and their position has changed dramatically because they were in denial about developments in tax information exchange for a long time, but they have woken up, smelt the coffee, and realised they need to get on the train or get run over by the train.
Is this a seismic move, though, for the future of what is deemed offshore?
This announcement taken in isolation is nothing more than a step down the road that everybody already knows we're travelling down. And the vast majority of people in the industry in Isle of Man agree that we should be travelling down. That road, however, is one that has emerged really quite suddenly over the course of the last couple of years and is developing at a very, very high speed compared with the normal speed of developments within the world of tax. So it doesn't look like high speed, but geologically it's pretty quick.
I mean, where does this leave companies like you? Will you want to be based, in all these offshore areas, or will this be the sort of, the end of what as life as we know it for not just the Isle of Man, but maybe the Channel Islands and others?
For PWC, I can't speak for other companies like us, but for PWC, we're wholly committed to the Isle of Man, and I expect to see out my retirement here in the Isle of Man and watch PWC grow and grow from the sidelines.
Do you think there's going to be job losses in just offshore though because of this? Do you not imagine this is going to have knock-on effects?
The move towards ever-increasing tax transparency will result in job losses in a whole host of different countries, but the world is an ever-changing place. Everything that happens in the world creates opportunities in one area, disadvantages in another. With the possible exception of farming, and one other profession I won't name, there's no such thing as a job that continues forever. I mean, people will always need food, and so there'll always be farmers. But economies change, situations change, job opportunities come and go, like the ebb and flow of the tide.
I mean, the Chief Minister was saying he didn't think some offshore finance centres would survive. I mean, he sees there just wouldn't be, the room for everyone, all the players to carry on. But he has hopes for the Isle of Man in that list to carry on.
There'll always be a role for offshore finance centres, and the onshore finance centres recognise that fully and have no interest whatsoever in bringing about the extinction of offshore finance centres. Doing so would have the effect of pushing a lot of money underground, which achieves nothing. The Isle of Man is committed to a process of open information sharing in the area of tax compliance. It has been committed to that process for more than a dozen years now. It isn't the place that it used to be, and that a small minority of people still think it is. It is an open, transparent, compliant location that knows its place in the world. In the future, will there be space on this planet for the number of offshore finance centres that there are today? Probably not. The strong will survive. The compliant will be allowed to survive. Those who choose to go into denial and step aside from the process the world is going down will be squashed. I heard this compared with a runaway train. You either get on it or you get run over by it. There's no alternative to those two.
So finally, no need to panic for people who have money here that, maybe have been using the Isle of Man for the very thing it was known for being an offshore jurisdiction?
For people who have money in the Isle of Man, there's absolutely no need to panic at all. For people who legitimately, legally comply with their tax obligations, people who think the Isle of Man is a place you can use to cheat have probably already left. Those who haven't probably should soon.